What's going on, guys? I've got here a 2004 Nissan Maxima, and I'm using this car to point out to you the location of the cooling fan fuses, the cooling fan relays, and I'm also going to give you some troubleshooting steps for what to check when the cooling fans aren't working on your Nissan. So the very first thing I like to do is just to check to see if I'm able to turn the cooling fans by hand. If I'm not able to turn these by hand, then it could either be that maybe the motor is seized, or it could be that something fell down into the shroud and is blocking the rotation of the fan. Either way, I'm gonna have to remedy that before we can continue. Now, if you do this step, please be careful, as the fans can come on at any time. So you could get injured if your fingers are in this fan and it just kicks on. I've also found sometimes there can be a bad connection in the cooling fan, and when you just go touch it momentarily and rotate it, it can actually kickstart the fan and start it moving. So if you just barely start spinning the fan and it kicks on or starts spinning weakly, then it could be that you just have a failing connection inside of the fan motor. Now, another troubleshooting step that I do is I'll actually tap on the back of the fan motor. That can also help restore a bad connection. And you can also wiggle the connector to see if there's any loose connection in there. And it's also a good idea to disconnect it, and you can inspect the pins to see if there's evidence of corrosion or burnt contacts. Now, moving on from that, let's talk about the fuses. They're going to be located in this fuse box cover, which is to the left of the battery. We open it by pushing on the tab here and lifting up. There are two 40 amp fuses here. They're actually clustered together. They're part of this green fuse box assembly, and it's going to be the front two. So this one and this one. We can look down through the top of this and see that these fuses are intact and they're good to go. Now, as far as the relays go, those are a little more difficult to access. We're going to move over to this side of the car. There are a total of 3 relays for the cooling fans on the radiator. First, we've got to deal with removing this. On this Maxima, all of these little tabs are broken, but you may have some intact ones that you'll want to remove. And you just lift this up and move it over. Now we've got to remove this fuse box cover right here. On the front of it, there's a little retaining tab. You just simply pinch it over like that. And with that loose, you can attempt to loosen the one on the back side in the same way. I can't really reach that, so I've had good luck with just grabbing this and kind of wiggling it while I pull it up. So here's our fuse box, relay box computer, and these are the relays here, the 3 cooling fan relays. Now, you can't really remove them in this position, so what you have to do on either side of this relay, or this box assembly, you have to push these tabs out and lift up. That will allow you to pull this up, and you can kind of rotate it to the side in order to get a better access to these relays. And again, these relays, much like the cooling fan motors themselves, you may have some luck with tapping on them. Sometimes if you tap on a relay, it can start working again. So yeah, I hope that this information was helpful for you, or at the very least a good starting point in troubleshooting the cooling fans on your Nissan Maxima. Please do let me know down below if you guys have any questions or any advice. Thanks for watching.